Welcome to my backyard. It's a sanctuary. Whoops, there we go. It's a sanctuary. No, really, it is a sanctuary for both nature as well as all the wildlife. And just to give you a little bit of a frame of reference, Rochester, here shown by the sun, is 28 miles from the Whitewater Valley. And that's represented by the red star. And me, I'm the little yellow heart, Altura, which is only 2 miles from the Elba Fire Tower. So let's start with the Elba Fire Tower. I want to talk to you a little bit about the adventure you can have, the history of the fire tower, as well as the community that has kept it where it is. Adventure. If you Google the Elba Fire Tower, you'll probably see articles that claim there are 600 steps from the bottom of the bluff to just reach the base of the fire tower. I will tell you, this is completely erroneous. There are 636 steps from the bottom of the bluff to the base of the fire tower. I know this because I've counted it more than once. It's a really great way to keep 2 young boys entertained as you're climbing to the top. And as far as the adventure part, there are a couple of benches on the way to the top. They're really great for taking in the nature or to catch your breath on the way up. Now, for the fitness buffs among us this morning, if you think that 636 steps isn't enough, you could opt to take hand weights and do lunges during certain spots among the climb to the top. You will hurt for a week, or so I've heard from a friend. Now, once you get to the top of the bluff, then you still have the towering tower above you, which soars 100 feet into the air to get to the top. But let me tell you, it is completely and utterly worth it. This one picture is a view out of the cage of the fire tower looking down toward the Whitewater State Park. And just in case you were wondering, this is the view looking towards Altura in the fall. Moving on to a little bit of history about the tower, because it's really quite fascinating. And the tower is really the nexus of the Whitewater Valley. It's perched atop the bluff, and it was erected in 1936. The reason for that was that it was to spot fires. No, not wildfires. Fires that were set by the European settlers to clear the land for farming and grazing cattle. Because our European settlers didn't have a reference for what torrential rain downpours would do to the topsoil on the bluffs rushing toward the Mississippi River. So the fire tower was erected to spot the fires being set and to call out the fire departments to extinguish the blazes. Now, over a couple of decades, farmers began to implement conservation practices, and the state of Minnesota purchased a huge tract of land in the Whitewater Valley for protection. So the fire tower was really no longer needed. So it sat in disrepair for many, many years, and the rumors began to have talk that maybe we should take it down. And that's where we get to have just a wonderful sense of community that we experience here in Southeast Minnesota, where 2 women started the Fire Tower Boosters to save the tower. They started by saying, okay, the community's got to take an ante in this. And they sold steps for $100 a piece. And those names you saw on the steps earlier are all the individuals that donated in order to have the project completed. They also worked with the Minnesota legislature and the Commission on Minnesota Resources to locate $73,000 for the project. The Minnesota Forestry Department and Sentencing to Service actually built the steps, all 636 of them, into a rock bluff. But the project was completed in 1997 and open to the public. And this little town of Elba saved their fire tower. Now, as you descend from the fire tower in the bluff, as you pull out of the parking lot and take a left, you'll arrive at that little brick church you see in the picture. If you take a left there and drive just over 2 miles, you'll arrive at the Whitewater State Park, where there's the best trout fishing anywhere in the United States. You can picnic, go swimming in a spring-fed beach area, and camp. And the trails are absolutely phenomenal. Year-round. It is truly a state park for year-round use. Skiing, snowshoeing, hiking. And the views, quite phenomenal. This is Chimney Rock and overlooking the Whitewater Valley. And maybe the best part is just being able to have a respite, connect with nature. You might get wet feet or a bee sting, or so I've heard from a friend, but it's worth it. Because quite frankly, when you need an escape from the environment we're in today, this is an absolutely perfect location. And so come on down. Join me in my backyard on 2,700 acres in the Whitewater Valley. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.